Good afternoon. Welcome to the Human Service Committee. I'm Jan Burdick, Chairman, and we will start the afternoon with the pledge to the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Mrs. Burdick.
Here.
Mrs. Ricketts Wales.
Here.
Mr. Barnes.
Present.
Mrs. Hanchett.
Here.
Mrs. Root. Mr. Rumfelt. Mr. Stockin. And Mr. Harris. 6 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. And can I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 15th, please?
Root will make that motion.
Ricketts Wales will second.
Any corrections or changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And a motion to approve the minutes of June 12th, please.
Ricketts Wales.
Hanchett will second.
Any corrections or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. And now up is Anita Madison, Director of the Office for Aging. Welcome, Anita.
Thank you. First thing on the agenda is our monthly report. So there are a few things I'd like to highlight. Health insurance counseling, the units of service this month versus this time last year, we are at 100 additional units from last year to this year. Those are contacts. That is for our high cap, our health insurance counseling for Medicare beneficiaries. PC level 1, from last year at 346 hours of PC level 1, which is housekeeper chore. We're at 789 units this year. So those are, again, hours. Go and dine meals down towards the bottom. Last year at this time, we had 66 vouchers for go and dine meals redeemed. This month, we have 253. And it is up from the previous month. We continue to go up with our go and dine. We currently have 9 individuals on our waiting list, which we are working on adding to the program right now with additional funding. And the other part would be our home delivered meals. So our home delivered meals this month is 8,338, and this time last year we were at 7,841. So our meals continue to go up as well from year to year. The other thing I'd like to highlight on our monthly report on the second page is the update for our total, a total for our tax program, which I know last month I gave you up until I believe it was the 4th of April. This is our final count. So our tax program, which again is a volunteer program or tax counseling for the elderly, we did 503 returns for older adults. The total refund amount that we brought back into older adults' homes was $415,026. Those were the refunds that our residents received. The average refund amount was about $967. Adjusted gross income average was $32,444. And we always do a comparison of what our savings would be for older adults. And this is what I've been recently told as a modest figure of $150. So if each one of these individuals had to pay $150 to go to a tax preparer to have them have their taxes prepared, we did a savings of $75,450. I've been recently told that we should up that to maybe $200 next year to compare, because $150 is a modest figure for tax preparation.
Anita, do you get many donations from the people that have their taxes prepared by your office?
We do receive donations because it is on our suggested contribution. It's a contribution, so it is on our suggested contribution list. And we do get some contributions. I don't have the figure with me, but I can get that if that's something that you are interested in.
I just was curious if, you know.
We do receive them, yep. It might be at the time of the appointment, but sometimes they mail it in, a week or 2 later. Sometimes it's even, further out than that.
Thank you. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Anything else on your monthly report?
No, not that I have.
All right, so we will go to You are amendment of an agreement, right, for
Yep.
legal assistance, okay?
So the first thing that we have is we're looking for permission to enter into an amendment of an agreement with Legal Assistance of Western New York, which is also called Law New York. The original agreement was a January 1st to December 31st date. It is to provide legal assistance for older adults age 60 and over. The amendment would change the contract amount from a maximum of $4,000 to a maximum of $8,900 for the agency, but the rate of pay of $100 per hour for attorney and $50 per hour for paralegal is unchanged. It is just the maximum that we would be able to pay, going from $4,000 to this vendor to $8,900.
Can I have a motion to accept that?
Hanchett will move. Ricketts Swales will second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried, thank you. The next one?
Our next one is permission to enter into a contract with Houghton Rehab and Nursing, which is for respite care. This is underneath our ADCSI, or Alzheimer's Caregiver Support Initiative, where we would be able to use these funds to put a loved one at Houghton for a 5-day respite period for their caregivers. The rate is $450.06 for a private room and $442.30 for a semi-private room. It is again for respite, which is a temporary placement.
Can I have a motion to accept this?
Ricketts Swales will move that.
Have a second?
Root will second.
Any questions?
Aye. Go ahead.
Is there ever a waiting list for this?
We don't have a waiting list for the respite program. Well, all of our home care programs have a waiting list, but as far as respite for the ADCSI program, they are getting some kind of case management. As far as this contract goes for facility-based respite, as long as we have a contract in place, we have a set number of days that we can provide. We already build it into our budget each year, so we don't have a waiting list for that. If we have an increase in need over the amount that we had budgeted, then we look at rearranging our budget to accommodate for caregivers.
How often can a family use this respite care? Is it just once a year, or?
For facility-based or in-home, facility-based is one time, in-home could be ongoing, and a maximum of 50 hours is what we have set for our budget, but again, it's case-by-case basis. Yep.
Any other questions? Yes. Yes, Mr. Barnes?
On the same thing, the difference in price between a private room and a semi-private room is only $8. That seems like a minimal amount for extra privacy.
It does, but those are the rates that they gave me that we're working with, and we always would hope that somebody would want to have that privacy, would be interested in having the $8 difference, but this is within our budget. If somebody says, no, we really would like to have them with somebody because maybe they don't do very well alone, then they have that option, and that's where those two rates give us the flexibility to have them placed in either room.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Carried. And the last one was total senior care.
Okay, so this is a request to, enter into a contract with Total Senior Care, which is a social day program. This is through our Alzheimer's grant as well. This is a day hab, so it is still respite, but it would be a day facility. These services do include socialization, recreation programs, also supervision, monitoring, minimum personal care assistance, including a hot midday meal and snack. The rate is $40 for a half a day, which is less than 3.5 hours, or $60 for a full day, anything over the 3.5 hours. And this is used by, like I said, our ADCSI, our Alzheimer's Caregiver Support Program, as another option for respite.
Stockton moves.
Ricketts Swales will second.
Any questions? Anita, they have to go to Olean for this? We don't have anything in Allegheny County?
They do go to Olean for this. Wellsville Total Senior Care does have facility, but it really depends on what we're looking at. For social day, there's no transportation if you're not a Medicaid provider, so it becomes more difficult. But we do work with our transportation program to try to accommodate for that need for caregivers as well. So we will couple our programs to provide based on where they're located.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Any other questions for Anita today? I guess we could ask you how the picnic's coming.
The picnic is great. We have almost 200, I think 220 the last time I looked, signed up. People are calling on a regular basis to be vendors from as far away. I think Syracuse is, it's either Syracuse or Binghamton. People are driving in from now to be a vendor at our picnic. So our picnic is August 6th, which is Tuesday, August 6th, with a rain date of Wednesday, August 7th. We are very excited to be offering it again this year, and we are limiting the number of participants so we can keep the space in between individuals. So if you're interested in participating, we just ask you to give our office a call to make that reservation. And we look forward to seeing all of you at the picnic.
Thank you, Anita.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Barnes, yes. Sorry.
Sorry to bring you back. I just want to make sure that you made arrangements for cooler weather for the picnics.
For cooler weather,
Cooler weather for the picnic.
I can't guarantee anything. I can tell you that we have had, in my years here, we've had picnics where it has been so hot that we have improvised with buckets of ice at each corner of the tent and large barn fans blowing it into the tent to make inside the tent very comfortable. So we will accommodate for whatever Mother Nature throws at us, I think. We'll try to anyway. All right.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
Next is Tyler Shaw, Public Health Director. Welcome, Tyler.
Good afternoon. Monthly report, nothing really standing out this month. We did have an additional rabies specimen positive, a bat in the Wellsville area. Rabies is out there. We are seeing a small uptick in Lyme disease and anaplasmosis, which is another tick-borne disease, so make sure you're checking yourself for ticks, especially if you're going to be on various trails and out in the wilderness areas. Any specific questions?
Okay. No questions. We'll move on to your MOEs.
All right, first up is the Immunization Action Plan grant contract. This is with the State Health Department. This is period number 2, and it's for an amount $31,050.
I have a motion to approve this.
Root will make that motion.
Ricketts Swales will second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And this is the preschool.
So this is the big one. So I'm looking for preschool contracts. This is our 3 to 5 year old program that we run out of our office. This is for related services, evaluation services, special education itinerant services, and center-based services. So I am going to read the entire list
Okay, go ahead.
of each of those contracts.
All right.
Arkport Central School, Alfred Allman Central School, Andover Central School, Belfast Central School, Bolivar Richburg Central School, Canasarega Central School, Canisteo Greenwood Central School, Cattaraugus Allegheny Boces, Cuba Rushford Central School, Fillmore Central School, Friendship Central School, Genesee Valley Central School, Greater Southern Tier Boces, Keshequa Central School, Letchworth Central School, Portville Central School, Scioto Central School, Wellsville Central School, and Whitesville Central School. Speech providers is Angela Dunbar, Jamie Beardsley. Building blocks, Sarah Carbone, Jennifer Callahan, Susan Cochran, Renee Giardini, UR Jones Memorial Hospital, Paula Gleason, Juliana Ham, I'm going to butcher that name, Michelina Olin, Benjamin Palmer, Jennifer Smith, Jennifer Williamson, Jillian Keenan, Maggie Smith Pomeroy, Tommy Pomeroy, Tanya Tucker Shola, Marissa Margot, Laura Inferno, Southtown Children's SLP, PT, and OT Associates. This is for physical therapy. Candy Hodnett, UR Jones Memorial Hospital, Maple City Physical Therapy, Rehabilitation Today Services. Occupational therapy, building blocks, Kirsten Clancy, Brandy Duval Newell, UR Jones, Tanya Konopsky, Anthony Mara, Southtown Children's SLP, PT, and OC Associates. This is for parent training, Michelle DeGraff, Kelly Morehouse, Dr. Lynn O'Connell, Joanne Ross, Southtowns Children's Associates. Behavior consults, Michelle DeGraff, Southtown Children's SLP, PT, and OT Associates. Psychological counseling, Dr. Lynn O'Connell, and evaluation services for psychological counseling is Cindy Dodge. CIAS, Friendship Central School. One-on-one aid for Head Start, Accord. Center-based services is Cattaraugus Allegheny BOCES, Greater Southern Tier BOCES, and the Children's League. And social histories is Faith Stewart. So you'll see a couple names were recurring. They do multiple services across all those contracts.
We have a motion to approve all of these.
Ricketts Swales will make that motion.
Hanchett will second.
Any questions? And actually, there's a separate contract for each of those, correct?
That's
It's just
correct.
we're grouping them together so we can just do one motion.
That's correct.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor? Carried. And then we have the next one, Tyler.
Accept and
The
I'm
special-
reappropriating funds from 2023 for our COVID-19 ELC grant.
I have a motion for that one.
Root will make that motion.
Ricketts Swales will second.
Any questions on this? Does this finish up your COVID money for
This
this?
would finish that up, yeah.
Okay. All in favor? Oh, sorry, Mr. Barnes, I need to look your way.
Yeah. What is the reason that we have these these funds to be reappropriated? I mean, they weren't obviously spent during '23. What's the normal, do we get less in the future because we didn't spend what we has appropriated?
Good question. This specific grants, the COVID ones, were federal pass-throughs through the state, and these are ending grants. Why we're reappropriating it is based on what was spent in '23. We just need to redo that for 2024. So whatever we haven't spent, either we want to move those funds, or we're just basically allocating it to the 2024 budget.
I guess my question boils down to, whoever's giving us the grants, do they look at that and say, well, you didn't spend all that last year, so we're not going to give you that as much as we did last year this year?
No, because it's multi-year grants. So they just want to make sure you're spending it out across that whole grant period. So in this case, I think it was a 3-year grant, 4 years. And as long as you spend it out in that 4-year period, they don't care if you're reappropriating from year to year.
Thank you.
And this is a grant that ends.
It does end.
Yeah.
This is not a recurring grant.
Right.
So they're not going to reevaluate this for additional funds in the future.
Mr. Healy?
The federal government and the state government have different fiscal years also, which add to the complexities of all that, right?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Carried. Then we have a request to fill.
A request to fill a supervising public health educator due to retirement.
I have a motion to accept this.
Stocking.
Hanchett will second.
And this is to replace Teresa, right?
That's correct. She's been with our office, I think, 33 years. She is retiring at the end of this month.
I wanted to make sure we brought that up.
Absolutely.
And we want to thank Teresa for her many years of service.
Yes.
So any questions or comments on this one? We already had a motion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And then we have,
This is a request for a resolution to approve an addendum with eClinical Works
Okay.
and to ratify the county administrator's signature on that addendum. I put on there the fiscal impact was no more than $25,000, which seems like a lot, but we are prepaying several years ahead because we're using grant funds to fund this project.
can we have a motion to accept that?
Hanchett moves. Ricketts Swales will second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Last but not least is period number 5 for our drinking water enhancement grant contract. That is with the State Health Department. Runs from April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. And it's for $102,823 per year.
I have a
Stocking
motion?
move.
Second?
Ricketts Swales.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tyler, one more thing. You will, and I guess I should have asked any of this, you all will have booths at the fair, correct?
We will have 2 booths at the fair, yep. We'll have our rock and rest station, also a breastfeeding station for WIC, and we'll have our general public health education booth that we normally do. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don Horn, Deputy Social Services Commissioner. Welcome, Don.
Good afternoon.
Anything you want to highlight on your monthly report today?
Everything's pretty stable on our monthly report. Of course, child support collections dropped off. Tax season is over, so we're not doing our collections of those taxes from the IRS or the state anymore, so they are coming down. And the program integrity unit, those cases have jumped up due to our front-end detection of when people come in to apply, when we review those cases for any type of fraud before we move forward on opening those cases.
All right. Anybody have any questions on the monthly report? All right, then we can move forward to request to fill a registered nurse position and any resulting backfills.
This position works hand in hand with our Adult Protective Services unit. The registered nurse will go out with our caseworkers to do assessments on the elderly if they are signing up for like a Medicaid program or a long-term care program. The one program that used to be out there, consumer directed, it's called CDPAP, is being eliminated by the state. So this position here will be very critical on the assessments that they do for the care that our elderly people need.
Can I have a motion to accept that? Second?
Hanchett will second.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And then a senior typist?
This position is in our senior typist pool downstairs. This position's main responsibility is to answer incoming calls from the public. And they also do a lot of filing in our filing room. And they also follow up on the issuance of electronic benefits cards.
Root will move that.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Carried. And then you have another donation from for the Child Advocacy Center?
Yes, we always like it when people donate money, and we use this money for the children and buy them snacks if they're in the waiting room, or maybe some games or something like that to occupy their time until they're done with their interviews or whatever business they have there. This is from the First Presbyterian Church of Portville, New York, in the amount of $600.
Can we have a motion to accept that?
Root will second.
Any questions? Do you go out and recruit for this money, or is it, I mean, how are they made aware that they can donate it to it?
Sometimes we recruit. A lot of it is they know the center is there and they're just good Samaritans. A lot of people donate from year to year to year. So, and they repeat those donations every year. So.
Right. Yes, Mr. Healy.
I know probably everybody here realizes, but maybe the public, there's a site in Cattaraugus County too, still.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So we maintain a site over there and we provide those services for Cattaraugus County too as part of a
Yes,
agreement.
it's a joint county between Allegheny and Cattaraugus.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
And carried. And summer youth employment?
Yes, this is an annual agreement that we do with the Employment and Training Center. They administer this money for us. It's for the summer youth to put youth in the county to work. Last year, we served 65 kids at 40 different locations. They went to work. And this year, we're striving for 45 locations and hopefully get 70 kids to work for work experience.
Hanchett will second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
And carried. And finally, we have several foster care contracts.
Yes.
And we're gonna vote has one unit, but Don will read each one of the ones that have a contract with for this.
These are the foster care contracts for placing kids that come into care. We have several of them. We just don't know which organization will have an open bed when the child comes into care. So this is why we have so many of them. As follows, Together for Youth, used to be Berkshire Farm. They just changed their name this year. Buffalo Urban League, Children and Family Services, Children's Home of Wyoming Conference, Gateway Longview, the Glove House, Gustavus Adelphius Family Services, Hillside Children's Center, Kids Peace National Center of North America, Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Rochester, also known as Kinship Family and Youth, New Directions Youth and Family Services, Pathways, St. Anne's Institute, the William George Agency for Children's Services, and Villa of Hope Youth and Family Services. All these contracts will run by the maximum state aid rate. Those rates are a daily rate or a monthly rate that are set by New York State. We have no control over them. We do not pay unless we place a child into an institution or into foster care through one of these agencies. There are 3 appropriation numbers that are budgeted to cover the eligibility of these children based on either 4E, temporary assistance to needy families, or purchase of services. The total of those appropriations is $3,179,197. It is offset by revenues that we collect. If a child is 4E, we will get 50% federal reimbursement and 50% state reimbursement up to the maximum of the foster care allocation. If a child is temporary assistance to needy families, we cover that with Flexible Funds for Family Services, which is a temporary assistance for needy families funding stream. We also use Title 20 money for that, and that is capped at $45,000 a year. And we also use Purchase of Services money for the preventive end of that, which is open-ended, and we get back 62% of every dollar that we spend on those services.
I have a motion to accept that.
Hanchett will move.
Second,
Ricketts Swales, second.
and any questions? Go ahead, Jen.
I just am curious how this works. So if I want to be a foster parent, I work for one of these agencies, is that it? Or I represent one of them? Or some of them are housing?
Some of them are housing for institutions.
Okay,
Some of them are the administrative piece of the foster care. The home can be certified by that agency. So, and I mean, we do have Allegheny County foster homes too. So that are not associated with any of these agencies. So it just depends on how you get your certification and how you come into the program.
thank you, that helps.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
And carried. Any other questions for Don today?
I just wanted to let everybody know that last month we worked on the youth sports education allocation. We did have a virtual meeting on Monday night, and we had quite a few people sign on for that. And Brian Perkins and myself went through that and explained how they can apply for the allocation and the required documentation that they would need for that. That's all out on the Allegheny County website under the Youth Bureau piece. And also, Brian has had several emails from organizations that did not join on the virtual, and he has answered those. So hopefully we get a lot of allocations and requests so we can get some money out to support the youth sports in the county.
Great, thank you. And if anybody is listening and wants more information, they can just go on the web page?
Yeah, they can go on the website, or they can email Brian Perkins at brian.perkins@alleghenyco.gov.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any unfinished business today? Any new business? Good of the order? And then ask for motion for adjournment.
Ricketts Swales?
Rick will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried, thank you.
What's the next?